3 weeks ago, I was just an EMT working night shifts in Seattle. Then I saved a patient who shouldn't have been alive, and everything I thought I knew about the world shattered. The man who came for me that night? He's a vampire king whose ancient crest burns every human it touches, except me. They call me the Cure, and now hunters are coming for my blood to destroy the only family I've ever known. The worst part? Someone I trusted has been feeding them information from inside our sanctuary. Tonight, I have to choose between my old life and protecting a 10-year-old vampire who calls me family. The silver crest around my neck is warm against my skin, and I can hear footsteps in the corridor that shouldn't be there. If you think you could handle discovering vampires are real and you're the key to their survival, hit subscribe and tell me. Would you choose sanctuary or safety? I ride third on a blackout emergency. The patient's pulse is impossibly slow. His skin is gray under the rig lights. The monitor keeps glitching. 40-year-old male, my partner Jake calls out. Found unconscious in Pioneer Square. The neighborhood is too quiet. Generators hum in every doorway. People watch from windows but don't come outside. I check the patient's airway. His breathing is shallow but steady. The pulse oximeter can't get a reading. BP is 60/40, I say, starting a line. The IV goes in clean. I push saline and watch his color. Nothing changes. He opens his eyes. They're dark blue, almost black. He looks directly at me. "Don't be afraid," he whispers. My hands freeze. His voice is calm and clear, too clear for someone in shock. "Sir, can you tell me your name?" I ask. He doesn't answer, just keeps staring at me. The monitor flatlines. "Jake, we're losing him." I start compressions. 30 and 2, 30 and 2. The sirens get louder. We're almost at Mercy General. I keep pushing on his chest. "Come on," I mutter. "Stay with me." I check for a pulse. Nothing. I start another round of compressions. The rig doors open. Jake jumps out to prep the stretcher. I turn back to the patient. He's gone. The gurney is empty. The restraints are still buckled. The IV line dangles loose. "Jake?" I scramble toward the doors. "Jake? Where is he?" My partner spins around. His face goes white. "Where's what, Eva?" "The patient. The man we picked up." Jake stares at the empty stretcher. "Eva, we didn't pick up anyone tonight." The back of my neck prickles. Someone is watching me. I turn toward the hospital entrance. A man stands in the shadows between the ambulance bays. Tall, perfectly still. He's wearing a dark coat. Our eyes meet. He nods once. Then he's gone. Back at the garage, Supervisor Martinez calls me into his office. He closes the door and sits behind his desk. "Eva, I'm putting you on administrative leave," he says. "What?" I drop into the chair. "Why?" "You treated a corpse tonight. Jake said you were doing compressions on an empty gurney." "That's not what happened." My voice cracks. There was a patient, 40-year-old male, unconscious. Martinez pulls out a file. "No pickup logged for your rig tonight. No patient intake at Mercy." I lean forward. "Check the GPS logs. We went to Pioneer Square." "GPS shows routine patrol only." He looks tired. "Eva, when's the last time you took time off?" "I don't need time off. I need you to listen to me. 2 weeks unpaid leave starting now." I stand up fast. The chair scrapes against the floor. This is insane. "Turn in your radio and badge." My hands shake as I unhook my equipment. I set everything on his desk. "Check the patient files from last month. Cross-reference with missing persons reports." "Eva." 3 disappearances, all from the same area, all after EMS calls. Martinez sighs. "Go home, get some sleep." I walk out of his office. The garage is mostly empty. Just Jake and our rig. "Hey," he calls out. "You okay?" I don't answer. I go to the files cabinet and pull out the incident reports from the past month. 3 cases, all weird. all involving patients who shouldn't have been walking around. I make copies before anyone notices. The papers are warm from the machine when footsteps echo across the concrete. I turn around. A shadow moves past the bay windows. Too tall. Too still. The side door opens. The man from the hospital walks in. He's younger than I thought. Maybe late 30s. His dark hair is perfectly styled despite the rain outside. "Eva Moretti," he says. My mouth goes dry. "Who are you?" "Someone who believes what you saw tonight." He moves closer. People should make noise when they walk. He doesn't. "You're him," I say. "The patient." "No, but I know who you're looking for." The copies are still clutched in my hand. I take a step back. "Stay away from me. They're coming for you," he says. "The people who took your patients." "What people?" "The ones who've been watching you work. The ones who know what you can see." A door slams somewhere in the building. Boots stamp down the corridor, heavy and purposeful. The man's eyes go cold. "We need to leave. Now." "I'm not going anywhere with you." He reaches inside his coat. For one terrible second, I think he's going for a weapon. Instead, he pulls out a hospital badge. Dr. Marcus Havelock, Emergency Medicine. I know that name. "Your supervisor called him 20 minutes ago," the man says. "Told him about your episode tonight." The footsteps are getting closer. At least 3 people. Maybe more. "They're not here to help you," he says. I look at the exits. Front door, side door, garage bay. The garage bay takes too long to open. "Who are you?" I ask again. "Lucien Vale." He says it quietly. "And you're the woman who defied death." The front door crashes open. Men in tactical gear pour through. They're not police. No badges, no insignia. I clock angles and exits. The break room microwave reflects a rifle's laser sight. Red dots sweeping across the walls. My hand finds the fire alarm handle. I pull it hard. Sprinklers flood the bay. Alarms shriek. The laser dots scatter. "Don't talk," Lucien says. Something in his voice makes me freeze. My body goes perfectly still. 2 bullets ping off the steel beam where my head was a second ago. He catches my wrist. His grip is gentle but unbreakable. "This way." We push into the stairwell as boots pound behind us. The emergency lighting casts everything in red. "Down," he says. We take the stairs 3 at a time. My EMT training kicks in. Count exits. Note obstacles. Plan for medical needs. A door opens above us. Someone shouts commands. The voice is cold and professional. Lucien stops at the second-floor landing. He presses against the wall and pulls me behind him. His body shields me completely. A gunshot echoes down the stairwell. The bullet sparks off concrete where we were standing. "Stay close," he whispers. We cross the alley behind the station. His car is parked in the shadows, black sedan with tinted windows. The door opens without him touching it. "Get in." I hesitate. I want to go to the hospital. Sanctuary first, then truth. A figure lunges from between 2 dumpsters. Tactical gear, assault rifle, night vision goggles. He moves fast, but not fast enough. Lucien turns. His eyes go completely black. He catches the man's neck with one hand. A single twist. The attacker crumples. I shove myself into the back seat. My hands are shaking. The engine starts without a key. City lights blur past the windows. We're heading toward the waterfront, away from everything familiar. "Where are we going?" I ask. "Somewhere safe." The car takes a turn I don't expect. Down a narrow street that dead ends at an old cathedral. Half the roof is missing. Ivy covers the broken walls. "This is abandoned," I say. Lucien parks behind the building. That's the point. We get out. The air smells like salt water and old stone. Fog drifts in from the harbor. He leads me to what looks like a maintenance door. It's solid steel hidden behind rotting wood. He touches a panel beside the handle. Lights blink green. The door opens into a tunnel. Clean walls, modern lighting. The architecture doesn't match the ruins above. How far down does this go? I ask. Far enough. The tunnel opens into a large room. Hardwood floors, Persian rugs, bookshelves that reach the ceiling. Candlelight flickers from iron sconces. It's beautiful and completely hidden. "Welcome to Sanctuary," Lucien says. A small figure appears at the top of a staircase. A child, maybe 10 years old, dark hair, pale skin. He sees me and bolts forward. Before I can react, he wraps his arms around my waist. "You came back," he whispers. I freeze. My hands hover over his shoulders. He's warm and solid and real. "Julian." Lucien's voice is gentle. "Let her breathe." The boy steps back but doesn't go far. His eyes are the same dark blue as the patient from tonight, the one who disappeared. "You're him," I say. "The patient." Julian nods. "You saved me." "But you were—" I stop. Look at Lucien. He was dead. "Was he?" Lucien asks. I remember the compression, the flat line, the empty gurney. His heart stopped. "For how long?" "Maybe 2 minutes. 3 at most." Lucien moves to a cabinet and opens a drawer. He pulls out something silver. A medallion on a thin chain. "This is my family's crest," he says. He presses the medallion against his palm. His skin sizzles. The smell of burned flesh fills the room. He doesn't flinch. "Silver rejects what I am," he says. "What Julian is." He lifts the glowing crest toward my hand. "But you're different." "Don't." I back against the wall. "You've seen what we are. You've touched death and brought it back." The medallion hovers inches from my wrist. Heat radiates from the metal. "The hunters call you the cure," Lucien says. "The human whose blood doesn't reject the crown." He presses the crest against my skin. It warms. Nothing more. No burning, no pain. Just gentle heat against my pulse. Lucien's control cracks for the first time. His breath catches. His hand trembles slightly. "Impossible," he whispers. A phone buzzes somewhere in the room. Julian runs to answer it. His face goes white. "Lucien," he calls. "You need to see this." The phone shows a text message. No number, just a photo. It's me walking through the steel door, taken 20 minutes ago. Below the image, we know where she is. Morning light filters blue through hidden skylights. I haven't slept. Julian curls in an armchair near the fireplace, sketching in a notebook. Lucien sits across from me at a wooden table. Maps spread between us. Coffee grows cold in my cup. "The rules are simple," he says. "Silence when asked. Consent for everything. Sanctuary is sacred." "I don't take vows," I say, "to anyone." "Then you set the terms." I study his face. No anger, no pressure. Just patient waiting. "I treat Julian when he needs it. I keep my autonomy. I leave when I want." "Agreed." His calm makes me nervous. "That's it? No arguments? You could have run last night. You didn't." A red light blinks on a security panel near the door. Lucien glances at it and frowns. "Motion sensors?" I ask. "Among other things." I stand and follow the wiring along the wall. It leads to a ventilation grate near the ceiling. Something glints behind the slats. "Hand me that chair," I say. Lucien moves it without question. I climb up and peer through the grate. A small device is wedged inside, red light pulsing. "Transmitter," I say. Someone's been watching. I work it loose and drop it into his palm. The device is warm, still active. "How long has this been here?" he asks. "Based on the dust pattern, maybe a week." His jaw tightens. "May." "Who's May?" "Someone I trusted." We build a routine over the next few days. I brew coffee in the mornings. Julian sketches at the kitchen table. Lucien reads reports he never shares. I push him for information about the hunters. He pushes me about staying safe. Neither of us gives ground. You can't protect me by keeping me in the dark, I say. I can try. What if they come back? They won't find us. They found us before. Julian looks up from his drawing. They hurt people? Lucien's voice gentles. Not here, not you. The boy nods and returns to his sketch. It's a picture of the three of us. We're standing in a garden that doesn't exist. He draws what he wants, Lucien explains, not what is. Smart kid. He's been through enough. Something in his tone makes me look closer. Julian's too thin. Dark circles under his eyes. The way he startles at sudden noises. How long has he been with you? I ask. 6 months. Family? Lucien's expression closes. Gone. That night I find Julian in the library. He's reading a medical textbook, too advanced for a 10-year-old. Studying? I ask. Trying to understand what I am. I sit beside him. What do you think you are? Broken. The word hits harder than it should. You're not broken. I don't get hungry or tired. I can't go in the sun. That doesn't make you broken, just different. He closes the book. Do you think I'm a monster? I think you're a kid who's been through hell. Lucien says I'm safe now. Do you believe him? Julian nods. He saved me, like you did. A floorboard creaks in the hallway. We both look toward the sound. No one's there. Probably just the house settling, I say. But Julian's already moved closer to me. His hand finds mine. My phone buzzes on the table. The screen shows a text from an unknown number. She's inside with the king. The next morning, Lucien's gone. Julian won't say where. I spend an hour checking every room in the townhouse. No sign of forced entry, no blood, no struggle. Just empty space where he should be. My phone buzzes again. Same unknown number. Hospital, noon, come alone or he dies. The message includes a photo. Lucien unconscious in what looks like a medical facility. Restraints on his wrists. I check the metadata on the image. The file was created at Mercy General. Radiology Department, Dr. Havelock. The name from the badge Lucien showed me. Our liaison between EMS and the ER. I find Julian in the kitchen. We need to leave. Where's Lucien? Someone took him. Julian's face goes pale. The hunters? Maybe. I'm going to get him back. I want to come. Absolutely not. He's my family. The word stops me cold. Family. Not guardian. Not protector. Family. Julian, these people are dangerous. So am I. He says it matter-of-factly, like stating his height or age. I remember the compression, the flat line, the empty gurney. What exactly are you? I ask. I don't know yet. I leave Julian with enough food for 3 days. The security system will keep him safe. At least that's what I tell myself. Mercy General looks normal, busy, no signs of anything wrong. I badge in through the staff entrance. The radiology department is in the basement. I take the service elevator to avoid cameras. The hallway is empty. Dr. Havelock's office is at the end of the corridor. The door is locked. I use my EMT master key to get inside. The office is clean. Too clean. No personal items. No patient files. Just a desk and 2 chairs. A door I hadn't noticed opens behind me. Havelock steps through. Thin, nervous, sweating despite the cool air. Ms. Moretti. Where is he? Safe, for now. What do you want? Your cooperation. Havelock moves to his desk and opens a laptop. The screen shows a video feed. Lucien strapped to a gurney in a white room. Unconscious, but breathing. The sedative will wear off in an hour, Havelock says, unless we give him more. Let him go. First, you answer some questions. I scan the room for weapons, letter opener, heavy paperweight, fire extinguisher by the door. How long have you been able to identify them? Havelock asks. Identify what? The infected. The ones who shouldn't be walking around. I don't know what you're talking about. Havelock clicks something on his keyboard. On the screen, a technician approaches Lucien with a syringe. Wait, I say. I'll talk. The technician stops. 3 months, I lie. Maybe longer. How many have you seen? A few. They all disappeared before we got to the hospital. Because we intercepted them. We? Havelock closes the laptop. People who understand the threat. What threat? Vampires, Ms. Moretti. They're real, and they're spreading. I force my expression to stay neutral. That's insane. You've seen the evidence. Patients with no pulse, no body temperature, wounds that heal too fast. He's right. I had seen those things. I just hadn't wanted to believe them. What do you do with them? I ask. Research. We're close to a cure. And if there isn't one? Havelock doesn't answer. He doesn't need to. Let him go, I say again. Not possible, but I can make you an offer. I'm listening. Work with us. Help us identify more subjects. In return, your friend lives. In captivity. In comfort. I think about Julian alone in the townhouse, about Lucien unconscious on that gurney, about all the patients who disappeared. I need guarantees, I say. Such as? He doesn't get hurt. No experiments, no torture. Agreed. And the boy stays out of this. Havelock's eyes narrow. What boy? I realize my mistake too late. They don't know about Julian. Never mind, I say quickly. Ms. Moretti, what boy? The office door opens. 3 men in tactical gear enter. Armed, professional. Change of plans, the lead man says. His voice is cold and familiar. We're taking her now. Havelock stands up fast. Commander Thorne, we had an agreement. Agreements change. Thorne looks at me. He's older than his men. Gray hair, hard eyes, scars on his hands that look like burns. Eva Moretti, you've been hard to find. I bet. Tell me about the King's Lair. I don't know what you're talking about. One of his men moves closer. I step back until I hit the wall. We know you've been there, Thorne says. We have photos. Photos can be faked. Can they? He shows me his phone. Multiple images. Me entering the cathedral. Me walking through the hidden door. Me sitting at the kitchen table with Julian. My heart stops. When were these taken? This morning. Julian. They know about Julian. The boy's probably dead by now, Thorne says casually. We sent a team 20 minutes ago. Something breaks inside my chest. Rage, clean and sharp and focused. You bastard! I grab the paperweight and throw it at his head. He ducks. The weight shatters the laptop screen. Alarms start blaring. Emergency lighting flickers on. The building goes into lockdown. Restrain her, Thorne orders. His men move forward. I pull the fire extinguisher off the wall and spray foam in their faces. They stumble back, cursing. I run for the door. The hallway is chaos. Hospital staff evacuating. Security guards running toward the emergency. The service elevator is locked down. I take the stairs 3 at a time. My legs burn, but I don't stop. I have to get to Julian. I have to warn Lucien. I have to fix this. But first, I have to survive. The townhouse looks normal when I arrive. No signs of forced entry, no tactical teams, no bodies. I use the hidden entrance. The tunnel is dark and quiet. Too quiet. Julian, I call out. No answer. I reach the main room. Empty. Furniture overturned. Books scattered on the floor. Blood on the hardwood. Not much. Just a few drops. Julian! Still no answer. I search every room. Closets, bathrooms, the basement. Nothing. They took him. I sink into a chair and try to think. Where would they take a 10-year-old vampire? What would they do to him? My phone buzzes. Text message. If you want them back, come alone. Midnight, Pier 47. Another photo. Julian and Lucien in the same white room. Both unconscious. Both restrained. Below the image. No tricks, no backup. Just you. I check the time. 8 hours until midnight. 8 hours to figure out how to save them both. I'm outnumbered, outgunned, out of options. But I'm not giving up. I start planning. Pier 47 sits on the industrial side of the harbor. Abandoned warehouses, rusted shipping containers. No witnesses. I arrive at 11:30. Early enough to scout. Late enough to avoid patrols. The main warehouse shows signs of recent activity. Fresh tire tracks in the gravel. Lights on inside despite the late hour. I circle the building twice. 3 entrances. Loading dock, side door. Fire escape to the roof. All covered by cameras. My phone buzzes. We see you. Come to the front door. Hands visible. I walk across the open ground. Gravel crunches under my boots. The front door opens before I reach it. Thorne waits inside with 4 armed men. Behind them, a hallway leads deeper into the building. Ms. Moretti, punctual. Where are they? Safe, temporarily. He gestures for me to follow. We walk down the hallway. Industrial lighting, concrete walls. The air smells like disinfectant and fear. We reach a control room. Banks of monitors show different areas of the warehouse. One screen displays Lucien and Julian in separate cells. Both awake now, both looking pale. As promised, Thorne says. Julian presses against the bars of his cell. His mouth moves, but no sound comes through the speakers. What does he want? I ask. Thorne turns up the audio. Eva? Julian's voice cracks with relief. You came. Let them go, I say. You have what you wanted. Do I? Thorne moves to another monitor. This one shows a laboratory setup, medical equipment, IV bags, syringes filled with different colored liquids. We've been studying your friend's blood, he says. Fascinating results. On the screen, a technician injects something into a sample. The blood catches fire. Holy water, Thorne explains. Blessed silver. Concentrated UV. His blood rejects everything we try. So? But yours doesn't. He shows me another sample. My blood. Drawn when? How? We tested the bandage from your burned hand, the one you left at the hospital. The technician adds the same substances to my blood sample. Nothing happens. Your blood neutralizes vampire toxins, Thorne says. It's a perfect base for a cure. You want to use me as a lab rat. I want to save humanity. From what? They're not hurting anyone. Thorne's expression hardens. They killed my daughter. The words hit like a physical blow. I see it in his eyes. The grief. The rage. The absolute certainty. I'm sorry, I say. Are you? Yes, but Julian's just a child. So was Sarah. 10 years old when they turned her. Do you know what we had to do? I don't answer. I can guess. She begged us not to, Thorne continues. Right until the end. Julian's different. They're all different until they're hungry. On the monitors, Julian sits quietly in his cell. Not pacing, not fighting, just waiting. Like he trusts someone will come for him. What do you want from me? I ask. 3 pints of blood. That's enough to synthesize a working antidote. And then? Then we cure them. Starting with your friends. Cure them of what? Being alive? Thorne moves to a cabinet and pulls out a syringe. The liquid inside glows faintly blue. This is version 12 of the serum, based on your blood work. He approaches Julian's cell on the monitor. Julian backs against the wall. Don't, I say. It's painless, if it works. And if it doesn't? Then we try version 13. I watch Julian on the screen. His eyes find the camera. He looks directly at me through the monitor. Eva? His voice is small, scared. I'm here, I say to the screen. I know you'll figure something out. The trust in his voice breaks my heart. Okay, I tell Thorn. I'll do it. Smart choice. But I want guarantees. If the cure works, they go free. Both of them. Agreed. And if it doesn't work, you stop. No more experiments. Thorn hesitates. Fine. I want it in writing. We don't have time for... Alarms start blaring throughout the facility. Red lights flash. The monitors show figures moving through the warehouse. Sir! One of Thorn's men rushes into the control room. We have a breach. Multiple contacts. Armed. On the monitors, shadows move between the shipping containers. Fast. Too fast for humans. How many? Thorn asks. Unknown. They're not showing on thermal. Thorn grabs his radio. All teams to defensive positions. Lethal force authorized. The lights go out. Emergency lighting kicks in, bathing everything in red. Generator room, someone says over the radio. They hit the main power. I edge toward the door. In the chaos, maybe I can reach the cells. Stay where you are, Thorn orders. He draws his sidearm. On the monitors, the camera feeds start cutting out one by one. Static, then nothing. Sir, we're losing surveillance. A sound echoes through the building. Not quite human, not quite animal. It raises every hair on my arms. What was that? Someone whispers. The answer comes as shadows pour through the warehouse, moving with impossible speed, tearing through Thorn's men like they're made of paper. Fall back, Thorn shouts. Fall back to the lab. We retreat deeper into the facility. The hallways are narrow here, easier to defend, harder to escape. Behind us, gunfire erupts. Shouts, screams, then silence. How many men did you have? I ask. 20. 20? This isn't possible. We reach the laboratory. Thorn seals the door and activates an electromagnetic lock. That should hold them, he says. The door explodes inward. The lock melts. Smoke and sparks fill the air. Through the haze, a figure steps into the lab. Tall, perfectly composed, eyes like black ice. Lucien, I breathe. He looks at me. Eva, are you hurt? I'm fine. Good. He turns to Thorn. You took something that belongs to me. The boy's an abomination. The boy is mine to protect. Thorn raises his gun. Stay back. Lucien moves. One moment he's across the room. The next, he's standing beside Thorn. The gun is in pieces on the floor. Where is Julian? Lucien asks. Thorn doesn't answer. Lucien grabs his throat and lifts him off the ground. I asked you a question. Cell block C, Thorn gasps. Level B. Lucien drops him. Thorn collapses, gasping for air. Eva, can you find him? Yes. Go. I'll handle this. I don't ask what that means. I run toward the cell block. The hallways are littered with debris, broken equipment, bodies. None of Lucien's people, all of Thorn's. I find Julian in the last cell. He's pressed against the back wall. His face is streaked with tears. Eva! The lock is electronic. I need power to open it. The backup generators are still running somewhere in the building. Stand back, I tell Julian. I grab a fire extinguisher and slam it against the lock mechanism. Again and again until something breaks. The cell door swings open. Julian runs into my arms. I knew you'd come, he says. Are you hurt? No, they just took blood samples. We need to go. I lead him back through the facility. The main warehouse is quiet now. Emergency lights cast long shadows. Lucien waits by the entrance, alone. Where's Thorn? I ask. Gone. Dead? No, he's learned enough for one night. Julian runs to Lucien and hugs him tight. I was scared. I know. You were brave. Eva saved us. Lucien looks at me over Julian's head. Yes, she did. We drive back to the townhouse in silence. Julian falls asleep in the back seat. Lucien's hands are steady on the wheel. "How did you find us?" I ask. "May. I thought she betrayed you." "She tried. Then she changed her mind." "What changed it?" "You. I don't understand, but I don't push. I'm too tired to process everything that happened." The townhouse is exactly as we left it. Books still scattered, furniture overturned, but it feels safe again. Julian goes straight to bed. He's asleep before his head hits the pillow. Lucien and I clean up the main room in comfortable quiet. We don't talk about the warehouse, about Thorn, about what comes next. When we're done, he builds a fire in the fireplace. I curl up on the couch with a cup of tea. "Eva." "Yeah?" "Thank you." "For what?" "For coming back. For both of us." "I couldn't leave him." "You could have. It would have been safer." I look at the flames dancing in the fireplace. "He called you family." "He is family." "And me?" Lucien sits beside me on the couch, not touching, but close enough that I can feel his warmth. "What do you want to be?" I think about everything that's happened. The emergency calls, the disappearing patients, the hunters, the laboratory. 3 days ago, I was just an EMT. Now I'm something else. Something more. "I want to stay," I say. "Even knowing what we are?" "Especially knowing what you are." He reaches into his pocket and pulls out something small. The silver crest from before. The one that burned him but not me. "This is how we mark sanctuary," he says. "How we choose family." "I told you I don't take vows." "This isn't a vow. It's a choice." He holds the crest between us. It glows softly in the firelight. "Choose sanctuary," he says. "Choose us. Choose home." I take the crest from his hand. The metal is warm against my palm. It doesn't burn. It never burns. "I choose sanctuary," I say. "With you. With Julian. With whatever comes next." He smiles. It transforms his entire face. "Then welcome home, Eva Moretti." Outside, the wind carries nothing hunting us. For the first time in years, I'm exactly where I belong. 3 weeks later, I wrap a soft glove over my healed hand. The burn from the UV lights has faded to pink lines across my palm. Battle scars. Proof of choices made. Julian sketches at the kitchen table. He's drawing the garden again, the one that doesn't exist yet. This time, he's added a swing hanging from an old oak tree. "Think we could build that?" I ask. "The swing?" "The whole garden." Julian grins. "Lucien said we could start in spring." "Did he now?" Lucien appears in the doorway with coffee and morning reports. He sets a mug beside my elbow. Perfect temperature. No sugar. He's learned how I like things. "The perimeter stayed quiet all night," he says. "Any word from May?" "She's tracking the last of Thorn's network. Should be done within the week." May had come back 2 days after the warehouse, bleeding from a knife wound, carrying intel about hunter safe houses and weapons caches, her penance for the betrayal. And Havelock? Disappeared. Probably fled the country. Good. Let him run. Let him tell whoever will listen about vampires and cures and impossible blood. No one will believe him. My phone buzzes. Text message from an unknown number. My stomach clenches. But it's just spam. Car warranty. I delete it and set the phone aside. "Still jumpy?" Lucien asks. "Getting better." He sits across from me. Studies my face with those dark eyes. "Bad dreams?" "Sometimes." The dreams are always the same. Thorn holding a syringe, Julian screaming, blood burning in test tubes. I wake up reaching for weapons that aren't there. "They'll fade," Lucien says. "How do you know?" "Experience." Julian looks up from his drawing. "Lucien has nightmares too." Julian. "It's true. I hear him sometimes." Lucien's jaw tightens. He doesn't like admitting weakness. even small ones. What do you dream about? I ask. Old mistakes, lost chances, the past. Your mate? He nods. Among other things. What was she like? Kind, stubborn. She believed vampires and humans could coexist peacefully. What happened to her? She trusted the wrong human, a doctor who promised to help injured vampires. Instead, he sold their locations to hunters. Like Havelock. Exactly like Havelock. I reach across the table. My fingers brush his hand. He doesn't pull away. I'm sorry, I say. It was a long time ago. Doesn't make it hurt less. Julian sets down his pencil. Eva doesn't betray people. How do you know? Lucien asks gently. Because she came back, even when it was dangerous, out of the mouths of babes. Julian's right, I say. I'm not going anywhere. Even if it gets complicated? Especially then. That afternoon, we walk through the ruins of the cathedral above the townhouse. Julian explores the broken pews while Lucien and I clear debris from what might have been the altar. Tell me about the garden, I say. Julian's idea originally. He wanted somewhere to go when the basement felt too small. And now? Now I think it's a good plan. We work in comfortable silence, moving stones, pulling weeds, planning something that might last. Julian calls out from near the back wall. Found something. We join him beside a pile of rubble. He's uncovered a small headstone. The inscription is worn but readable. Sarah, beloved daughter, 2013-2023. My blood turns cold. Sarah. You know this name? Lucien asks. Thorn's daughter, the one who was turned. Lucien kneels beside the stone. His expression softens. She's buried here. In a vampire sanctuary. Yes. Why? Because she was a child. Whatever she became, she deserved peace. I think about Thorn. His grief, his rage, the absolute certainty that vampires were monsters. He loved her, I say. Most parents do. Even when she was turned? Especially then. Julian traces the carved letters with one finger. She was my age. Yes. Was she scared? Lucien hesitates. Probably. I was scared too. When they took me. I know. But Eva came, and you came. We'll always come for you. Julian nods solemnly. Should we fix her stone? Make it prettier? I look at Lucien. He's thinking the same thing I am. Some wounds need tending. Some peace needs protecting. Yes, I say. We should. That evening, we sit in the main room after dinner. Julian reads while Lucien works on security reports. I practice sutures on an orange. Eva? Julian looks up from his book. Yeah? What happens if more hunters come? We handle them. Together? Together? Promise? Promise. Julian smiles and returns to his book. He's reading about astronomy, black holes and distant stars, things that exist in darkness but still shine. Lucien? The night you came to the station, how did you know to find me? He sets down his reports. Julian told me about the EMT who wouldn't give up, who kept fighting even when his heart stopped. You were watching me. We were watching all the medics in the district, looking for patterns. And you found them. We found you. Lucky me. Lucky us. The fire crackles in the hearth. Outside, rain patters against hidden skylights. The sound is peaceful, safe. I need to tell you something, Lucien says. My stomach clenches. What? The blood samples Thorn took. They're still out there. What does that mean? It means other people will come looking. Eventually. How eventually? Could be months. Could be years. I process this. More hunters. More laboratories. More people who want to use my blood to hurt the people I've chosen to protect. Okay, I say. Okay? We'll handle it. When it happens. Eva, You don't understand. They'll never stop coming. Then we'll never stop fighting. It's not your war. Yes, it is. I move closer to him on the couch. You saved Julian. I saved both of you. That makes it my war. You could disappear, change your name, start over somewhere safe. Could you? What? Start over. Leave Julian. Forget about sanctuary. No. Then don't ask me to. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out the silver crest again. It gleams in the firelight. This belonged to my mate, he says. I gave it to her the night she agreed to stay. Lucien. She wore it until the day she died. You don't have to. I want to. He takes my hand, the burned one. His fingers trace the faded scars. Eva Moretti. You came into our lives like a storm, dangerous and necessary. Is this a proposal? It's a promise. He places the crest in my palm. I promise to protect what we've built, to choose you, every day, for as long as you'll have me. The metal warms against my skin. No burning, no rejection, just perfect acceptance. That's a big promise, I say. It's the only one that matters. Julian appears beside the couch. I didn't hear him move. He's gotten better at being quiet. Can I see? He asks. I show him the crest. He touches it gently. It's beautiful. It's a family crest, Lucien explains. It means we belong together. All of us? All of us. Julian grins. Good. I was worried you'd forget about me. Never, I say. You're stuck with me. Promise? Promise. I slide the crest onto the chain around my neck. It settles against my heart. Warm. Right. Home. So, I say. What now? Now we live, Lucien says. Quietly, carefully, together. And when the hunters come back, we'll be ready. Julian climbs onto the couch between us. Can we work on the garden tomorrow? If the weather clears, Lucien says. It will, Julian says with absolute certainty. I can feel it. I look around the room, at the fire burning steadily in the hearth, at Julian's drawings scattered on the coffee table, at Lucien's report stacked neatly beside his chair, evidence of a life built from impossible circumstances, family forged in crisis and choice. You know what? I say. What? They ask together. I think we're going to be just fine. And outside the wind carries nothing hunting us. Inside the sanctuary holds. And for the first time in my life, I understand what home really means. It's not a place, it's a choice. A daily decision to stay, to fight, to protect what matters. I choose sanctuary. I choose them. I choose this strange and dangerous and beautiful life we've built together. The crest grows warm against my skin, like a heartbeat, like a promise, like love that doesn't burn. We're finally home.